Before the president's speech, the White House said that 33 nations have now joined in condemning the Assad regime for using chemical weapons. While there's almost universal hope that diplomacy will resolve any possible future use of chemical weapons, there's also doubt. Angelo Codevilla is a former Foreign Service and naval officer who joins us from California, where he is a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. He's also currently professor emeritus in international relations at Boston University. Mr. Codevilla, thank you for your time. We do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You've been very critical of Obama's handling of the crisis in Syria, saying that he lost this war before even starting it. So if you could turn back the clock, what would you have done differently?
When? Obviously, the administration has mishandled Syria from the beginning. The U.S. government has mishandled Syria for many years. The Assad regime has been an enemy of the United States from its very beginning in the 1970s. We have had multiple occasions of doing away with that regime and making room for good successors. However, in the past 2 years, as the rebellion has broken out, the opposition to Assad has come into the hands strictly of America's enemies, so we have had no good options. Our involvement against Assad would simply have empowered America's other enemies in the region. So the best thing for us to do at this point is precisely nothing, and to let the various bad actors in that place counter one another. There are cases in which doing nothing is the best option.
But there are many out there, they'll believe that doing nothing also emboldens our enemies. It would embolden Assad to continue his attack on his own people, as well as his allies, who are also our enemies, to continue in what they do, which would be against U.S. interests. So might doing nothing be dangerous?
U.S. interests. They are all against U.S. interests, and unless we are willing to fight all of them together at the same time, and then govern that country, which we are not, and it would be a very foolish thing for us to try to do, then the best thing for us to do is to let them counter one another.
You've said in some of your writings that I read that you believe that Syria is really of marginal importance to us and on the edge of our ability of influence. Just
Precisely.
Their pure geographical location, doesn't that make them of more than marginal importance to us?
No, their geographic location is precisely marginal to us. The Soviet Union first, and Russia as its successor, has tried to make Syria into a major base in the Mediterranean. It has failed to do that. There is a small Russian base there right now, which could easily be countered by the U.S. Navy if we had a respectable fleet in the Mediterranean, which we used to have and we no longer have. So the point is that for us to keep harm from Syria from spreading to the rest of the region is not difficult, but for us to fix what is going on in Syria is well nigh impossible. I'm afraid that sacrificing American lives and treasure in the region, in that country, would do us no good.
I understand what you're saying. I want to jump in before we run out of time, if you don't mind. In your mind, is there a quote-unquote red line? How long can we do nothing? If Assad continues to attack his own people, if it proves that Iran is developing a nuclear weapon at some point, is there a red line that demands U.S. action or intervention?
Oh, yes, against Iran, for sure. Against Syria, Syria is something else. Look, in terms of action, we could very easily foster the resistance of the Lebanese people against Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a tool of both Iran and Syria, and their occupation of Lebanon is something we can do something about. That is something we should do something about, rather than involving ourselves in Syria itself.
We'll have to stop it right there. Angelo Codevilla, thank you, sir, so much for your time.
You're most welcome.
And this is Arise America.